welcome to Bad Music Taste and Other Ways to Ruin Your Life. My name is Dominic.
And my name is Sam. Dominic has a record this week.
This week's record is Nervous Breakdown by Black Flag. This record was first released in 1979 on SST Records. It was repressed last year. The copy I have here is a repress on black vinyl. Anyways, today we're talking to Chris Dalley of Pulley and Authority Zero. How's it going, Chris?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
Good.
How have you been keeping busy within the last few months?
Well, being a dad, I have a 2-year-old, so being Mr. Mom full time has been keeping me busy, and golfing. I actually became a golfer during this pandemic because I live right the 8th hole of this golf course is right across the street from my house.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, until golf balls hit our backyard.
Fair point.
Yeah, but just keep busy. I mean, right now it's super. There's 45-mile-an-hour winds outside right now, so it's like gnarly right now. So my allergies are like, oh.
Yeah, Maryland weather is weird because Saturday it was like 70 degrees, and then yesterday it was like 40, and then today it's 70. So
yeah, my Aunt Sean lives out there.
Oh, okay.
She lives in Silver Spring.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It can't be 70. I woke up and I was freezing.
Well, when I went out there, it looked like 70 and felt like it. So.
Okay, that's why I haven't been outside today. So.
That might be the problem.
Yeah. So, Authority Zero recently re-recorded the song Solitude. How has it been different to record music during the pandemic?
Just so the whole social distancing thing is we have to be very careful now. It's with I mean, it's not like I don't trust the guys in my band. I do, but we're actually about to record a full length album next Monday. We go in the studio and start recording a full length. And they're coming out here, so they got their COVID tests before coming out here.
Yeah,
from Arizona. So now that they're clean and good, come on out. You can stay at my house.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you trust them, but at this point, I feel like I'm cautious of everybody. Like, if I am in contact with somebody, I wait 2 weeks. I'm very procedural, and I'm just trying to keep me and my family safe. So
yeah, that's what you have to do nowadays. I mean, it's this is the new normal, and you have to.
I can't imagine what it's like having a younger child, like a 2-year-old, though. I mean, has that been different, like with wearing masks and all? Because
with him, it's he does not want to put that thing on. He'll wear it for a minute, he'll make noises with it and then take it off, and he'll throw it on the ground, which is okay, throw that away because he's 2.
Yeah, I mean, 2-year-olds are like that with everything, and then
my neighbor, my next door neighbor, her grandson is going into kindergarten, and I feel so bad for people like just now starting school.
Yeah. I mean, it's night and day. I mean, I have 2 stepsons they're 12 and 9, and it's a struggle. I could tell because it's not it's not the same, and they're not with their classmates and all that stuff and their friends, and it's night and day difference from a year ago. I mean, I look at my memories on Facebook. I'm like, last year I was in Chicago playing with boll weevils at Reggie's, and now here I am stuck.
Yeah, sorry, I had to pop away for a minute because of my dog.
No worries.
Yeah, a year ago I was watching the Avail reunion, and now I'm cleaning a bag of Doritos with the bar of soap.
All right, so Dominic, I'm going to say this right now. I am extremely, extremely jealous of you that you get to go see Avail, because that is one of my all-time favorite bands. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go. I have a show. But they're playing next year.
My dad was like, I bet everybody there they're going to say, we're Avail from Richmond, Virginia. Everybody's just going to start bawling. I was like,
I would have been one of those people.
I was like, not me. I was like, I'm not an old school Avail fan, and then just they said it.
Well, we one of the Authorities there, one of our big spots is Virginia Beach. This place, it's not there anymore, called Shaka's, and the promoter there is really good friends with Tim Berry from Avail. I'm like, dude, please do what you can. Tell him I will bribe him money to get Adele back together. It's like, it's never going to happen. And 5 months later, I'm like, dude, you lied to me.
It happened.
It happened.
Yeah. Hello.
And then we were at the first show, and then I saw pictures on Facebook, and then Kevin Seconds was at the second show.
Oh my gosh. 7 Seconds was my first show when I was 10 years old. I'm dating myself, 1987. And I tell him every time how much, like, you're the reason why I do this. And he actually said sorry once. It's like, oh, sorry. Like, no, don't be sorry at all.
Yeah.
Them and Descendants changed my life. I saw them when I was 10 years old.
Descendants were my first ever punk rock show.
Well,
or just show.
I saw your interview with Bill, and it's funny because Bill produced the last two Authority Zero records, and I remember on my birthday in 2018 in June, him and I tempo mapping our record before we went to the studio. I was like, it's my birthday. You could just kill me now. My hero's right here. And he took me out to sushi that night. I'm like, kill me.
Oh, that's amazing.
You could officially end my life now.
Yeah, my first show was a lot different than your guys. Mine was Panic at the Disco. So
great live. They're a great live band. I will give you props. Hey, my first show ever was The Who with The Clash in 1982.
Yeah, my music taste has grown since then. I listened to like 4 bands then, and now it's like 400. So
I'm very eclectic. I like everything from the 60s to now. Pop music now, not so much.
Yeah, us too.
It's kind of mindless, and there's no substance to it anymore. Thank God for punk rock, and that's still keeping me going.
We agree completely.
Oh yeah, every day is different. Some days it's the Descendants and the Bouncing Souls, and then the next day it's Public Enemy, and then the day after that, yeah.
I mean, it's like I was listening to Beastie Boys this morning, and then last night I was blasting Killswitch Engage. So
yeah, music is music.
Yeah. As long as it speaks to me, I'm good.
Yeah. But my first show, it was Punk Rock Bowling in New Jersey. It was the Descendants, like H2O. And then the next day Flag played, and I found that out like years later. I was like, why didn't we see Flag?
Yeah. That's the ultimate lineup of Black Flag right there to me.
Yeah. Like
well, my son, who's now 2, he's been to 2 punk rock bowlings in Vegas because my wife and I bowl every year. And I have a picture of Sean from Good Riddance, the drummer, holding Keith at literally a month-old baby in the pool of the Golden Nugget.
Aw. As far as first show stories go, mine was like an arena show, obviously, because they're huge. But it was raining horribly in downtown Baltimore, so the bottom floor like kind of flooded a little bit. So I was like slipping left and right. Yeah, that part wasn't fun.
The funny thing is, last time I played Silver Spring was my first tour with Authority Zero. It was us and Les and Jake and Real Big Fish, and I got super sick, like flu sick. And couldn't enjoy my family, all that stuff. And then I got better the next day, and we were playing in Jersey. This is in January. So I finally feel better in Jersey. I'm like, oh, cool, I can play. It's one of those places where you get to play and load out right away. And it was 9 degrees with a -4 wind chill. I'm like, cool, just get me sick again.
Wow.
Because I had to break down my drums outdoors, and my cymbals are like freezing in my hands. Like, oh.
Peeling the cymbals off.
Totally. And for a California guy, not easy.
Yeah. The Real Big Fish, they were my last show. Yeah.
When was that? So was it February, January?
That was February. Like very, very late February. And then a few days later, it was like the coronavirus. And my dad was like, if we had it, we got it from that show.
My wife swears up and down that she had it in December. She was on a cruise with a couple of her friends, and she was sick for like 4 or 5 weeks.
My teacher, my favorite teacher was like the worst sick he's ever been. Like, he doesn't like to miss school because, teachers, and he was out for like a full 2 weeks. Like, that's when it's bad.
Well, Authorities Row, we did a 4-show mini run in Colorado and Albuquerque, and that was until in February. And then my wife and I bought a house. We got the keys literally 2 days before lockdown.
Oh wow!
And as I'm getting my keys, every one of my shows is canceled. I had 7 months of touring between Pulley and Authorities Row. That going to South Korea for the first time, going to Alaska for the first time, canceled.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those people that had something going on like that day. My last concert was in the end of November, so I had one that I was gonna be able to have like a VIP experience with my favorite band in May.
Who's your favorite band?
Palais Royale.
I've heard their name. I need to actually listen to them now.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I met them once the first time I saw them. Then I met one of them. Like I've seen them 2 times before, but it was like my favorite venue. And then seeing them again, and it was just like a couple months away, like the final stretch, and they were like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening."
Oh, I was supposed to see Dave Haas on the 13th. He had like a little tour planned, and Baltimore was the last day.
Oh gosh, I love he's got one of the best voices ever.
And then March 12th, he's like, "Nope, March 13th show isn't gonna happen."
God,
that's the worst. Like literally the day before.
Yeah.
Well, I had a couple things. Me playing any show anywhere, to me, it's a blessing. I can still do this for a living and play that stuff. But there were a couple. My wife had never seen Killswitch Engage. We had bought tickets for Killswitch Engage. That got canceled. And then the biggest show, because Pulley, we don't get to tour that much because our singer was a former bass player and he became a coach of the Angels. And so summertime we don't tour, but he's taken a couple of years off, and we were playing 3 shows in Spain in May, and it was us, Mellon Colin, Suicidal Tendencies, and Bad Religion. And I was like, I had it all planned out. Okay, I'm going to play my show. I'm going to have some food. I'm going to go out on the stage, and I'll start crying along to Bad Religion because it's my favorite, one of my all-time favorite bands. And because I did do that one time at Punk Rock Holiday in Slovenia. They played the entire Supper record, and I literally had tears in my eyes. And the drum tech was like, yeah.
Reunion or not, I cry at like every concert. I just get emotional like right at the end because you don't want to leave. I mean,
when I saw the Descendants for the second time, they had like 3 encores, and then after the last one, it was like I just kept sitting there, and my parents were like, "No, it's over. The lights are back on. Just wait, hold on." Could never be too sure.
Never be too sure. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what now. Like Pulley did 2 shows, and it was talk about an awesome lineup. It was Pulley, the Flatliners, and Descendants in Phoenix and Vegas. And so the Flatliners is one of my all-time favorite bands in the last like 10 years for sure. And I remember telling Carl from Descendants after the Phoenix show, one dude, because Coolidge is still that song that it's like I wasn't cool as a 10-year-old punk rocker in 1987. It was not cool to be into punk rock, and that song has always like resonated with me. So I always get choked up when I hear that song on my car, or because it's like I go back to being that 10-year-old kid that was like, "Oh, you're a punk rocker."
Right. Everybody has like those few songs that are just it. Like if they come on, that's it.
Yeah, that's still one of those songs that like. I mean, I'm 43 now, and so 33 years later, if it still strikes a chord right there, that means it's going to be in my lifetime forever. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then to like talk to Carl Alvarez after that, like
that's
to talk to any of the guys, it's like it's still, I do a thing on my Facebook page where, because I don't talk about politics, I don't know. I know what I like and I would know what I don't like, but I'm not an expert. Yeah. I talk what I know about, and I talk about music. So I for the whole pandemic, I've been doing my top 10 albums of every year from 1970. Yeah. 1971 to now. Mm-hmm. And every time I've done a Descendants record, Stefan's the first one going, "Dude, thank you so much." I'm like, "Dude, thank you for commenting on my thing."
Right. Like,
thank you for playing the way you play.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for liking us. Thank you for being amazing.
Yeah, we got to talk to a lot of just Descendants involved people, and like the time when you said you saw the Bill Stevenson interview, right before, like an hour before we talked to him, I had just watched Filmage. So So it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah, this is very important.
Yeah, and it was Doug Carrion from the Descendants hooked us up with that one. And it was like, he was like, give me like a list of 15 people like that you want me to reach out to, and we were like, the Descendants. No, 15 people, the Descendants.
Yeah, that was just it.
And he, like, all throughout the day, he was like, this person said yes, this person said yes.
Yeah.
Said Bill Stevenson. And then we emailed him that night, and then that morning he was like, well, I can do later today.
And we were like, sure, man.
Yeah, like, and he joins, and it's like, he exists. He's real.
Like, oh my God.
He's real.
Well, speaking of Derek Carrion, is that he reached out to me, and it's like, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. Like, when you're bored and you're doing nothing, nobody calls you. But it's always when you're busy that people want to reach out to you.
Yes.
So I have become involved in three bands I'm still a part of: Implants, Pulley, and Authority Zero. And Doug hit me up on Facebook going, hey, I need a drummer, and you were highly recommended. You want to play with me? I'm like, really? You couldn't call me a year ago when I was doing nothing?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't want to be that guy where I stretch myself too thin, because it's already like, I have my count. Thank God for my phone, because without my calendar, I'd be screwed.
Same. Yep.
Well, actually now, no, I'm actually not screwed now, because I'm not doing anything now.
Yeah.
Made a lot of spreadsheets within the past few months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've done a lot of delete. I've done a lot of delete on my calendar. Delete.
Yeah.
It's not happening anymore. So
I'm really involved in like student council and stuff too. So I'm always like balancing podcast, student council, school, like figuring them out, divvying them up. So it was really sad, actually. There was an event that I was supposed to have, like, it was like major events for student council in May, and I like saw this like alarm on my phone, and I'm like, it's a Saturday, and I looked it up, and it was like a reminder for that event in 30 minutes, and I was like,
squeeze a knife a little
sitting
harder.
on the couch and watching Netflix today. Like,
so is still virtual out there too?
Yeah,
and I'm relieved, like safety wise, but like
for sure, because first of all, not everybody's willing to go back. Second of all, for the people who are with like the hybrid schedule where they're doing like 2 days a week, I feel like that's not fair. You're obviously not getting the same education if you're in school and you're out of school, because then it would be like, why would we go back?
I think anything right now, I mean, I'm scared for the fact, I mean, I know when they say, okay, you could have a concert now, a real concert, I guarantee half the people, oh, hell yeah, let's go. And another half the people that usually go, like, I'll wait. Because there's a whole new thing right now that's going on, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, I have shows booked for April, May, June, July, August for next year. I'm telling people right now, I'll be happy if I can do a show by next September.
Yeah, I mean, Dom and I have talked about it, like, personally and on here a lot, but I don't know what I do if I don't feel comfortable where I am at the show. I don't know if I'm going to spend all that money on a ticket, you know what I mean? Because bands, are thriving off of a lot of different types of, money sources right now, but playing shows is like the main, not only money source, but just enjoyment. Like, that's the support is still there, because online's great, but you can't communicate with people that way. So when you see people singing along to your songs and jumping around, like, that's what makes you driven,
Yeah, like when you do a live stream, you're not gonna be able to like wave at the one person in the front.
That's oh my God.
30 Zero is like we've done 4 live streams, and Pulley's done 1, and it's been awesome just to play. But I always say the drummers have the best seat in the house, because I get to see the crowd, I get to see my band, I get to see everything around me. Like I have the best seat in the house, and it just sucks. It's like I had not had that feeling in a long time. Pulley just did a drive-in concert in October. Or no, in September.
How was that? Because
it was weird.
We've been curious about that. We haven't had anybody that's done one yet. So
it was cool, but it was like they basically they mapped out all the things, like where you park your car, they have enough room to get out of your car, and like even a guy brought a barbecue. You were able to put lawn chairs and all that stuff, but it was strange. But
yeah,
I got to be in front of people again, which is great. But it was
I was gonna say, I mean, do you think it was worth it? Like, better than like a live stream?
Yeah, just because I mean, it's like the people were there and like they were still into it, and it's like, I mean, would I prefer to be everybody walking around, moshing around together? Yeah, but not right now.
Yeah,
they have like those inflatable bubbles.
Yeah,
everybody gets one of those.
Yeah.
Or like one of those inflatable like dinosaur costumes.
That would be amazing.
That would be
inflatable.
Amazing.
Okay, when we can go back to shows, just imagine a bunch of inflatable dinosaurs in a mosh pit together.
Oh yeah, there's all the normal bubbles, and then rather than the one person in the banana suit, there's the one person in the dinosaur costume.
My kid, see now that'd be fun to see. It'd be not fun to see that, but like because you kind of are limited in your movement. How many people are falling down in the pit?
Oh, yeah. That would be so bad.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens whenever it comes down. But I mean, right now, who knows?
Yeah.
It sucks.
2019 was such a great year for shows. Like,
and there was so much planned. Like, Motley Crue and Def Leppard coming back with Poison and Joan Jett.
The Green Day.
Mega Tour. Yeah, like you said. That was crazy. Like, that was set up to be, like, one of the shows of the year.
The Circle Jerks are, like, in the top 10 of my favorite bands. They're playing they were supposed to play in D.C. at the Black Cat. I had tickets for that.
Oh, man.
Now it was supposed to be, like 2 weeks ago, I think. And now it's been rescheduled.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite bands of all time, too, is Circle Jerks. And it's like, I was excited for that. They were playing everything.
Yeah.
And now it's like rescheduled for May, and I know it's not going to happen in May.
I think that sort of situation is the most heartbreaking because it will get rescheduled at some point, but it was that day. Like, it was that show that day. You know what I mean? Like, we were waiting for that time.
The one thing I'm trying, I wish I want to put in, I kind of understand. I understand getting people's hopes up. Hey, we're going to reschedule for next year. We're good.
Yeah.
But wait until we know for sure that it's going to be okay to go.
Yeah.
Because being let down twice.
Yeah, you've already been let down once. It's like, wait till we know we have a handle on this. Because, like, I'm reading stuff right now. Like, Europe's getting their second boom.
Oh, yeah. Europe's going up because they're opening a lot. Because while their cases did go down because of how it was handled over there, I still don't know if it's safe to do shows. Because, like, a lot of my favorite bands, they're putting out full European tours, and I'm like... Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, we have tours, but we have a tour booked for next May and then also next July and August in Europe. And I got excited again. Initially I saw that thing where the original lineup of the Damned are getting back together and they're doing the UK and we're gonna be out there at the same time. I'm like, but wait, how do we know this is gonna happen? So I'm like, that little kid in me gets excited. I'm like, wait.
Right. Like, you tell yourself not to get excited, but you can't not get excited.
You can't. I mean, as a music lover, you can't help it. Like initially, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome," but is it going to happen? Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
There's nothing like the excitement when you like first get into the town of the show, and then when you first like get to the venue, and then you're watching the opening band, and then when you're like pushed up against the like barrier.
Oh yeah.
And then like the lights go down.
It's it's the same thing for us. I mean, it's tiring, of course, especially the older you get. Like I said, I'm 43, so the older you get, the more tiring it gets, the more I was like, oh my God, my back hurts now. All of a sudden. It's like weird stuff like that. But it's like once that energy comes into you, it all goes away. It goes out the window. It's like
you become like a 14-year-old again. I mean,
yeah. I've been sick, literally puking into a bucket on stage while I'm playing drums. It's like, you're not going to stop me unless you somehow kill me.
Yeah, because I've had like my mom, like take me to shows and stuff, and we've gone together, and she is just like a different person. Like, especially if I bring like a friend, because she's like my mom's cool, but she's like the cool mom. She's like, oh yeah, you can do that, you can do whatever.
That's how my parents were. My parents were the cool parents, and like I remember like all the other parents, like they were like more straight laced, going, oh, that Chris guy is going to end up in jail because, his mom and dad are like, they let him do whatever he wants. It's like, you know what? Your kids are going to end up like all screwed up because you made them do this and do that and do that. Like
you made them do what you want them to do.
Yeah.
And sure enough, two of those kids in my neighborhood ended up being big time jailbirds.
The Bible thumpers are always the one that.
The funny thing was, I used to work at Guitar Center, and this big church came in. This like group of a family came in from church, and I had a video of Kiss playing on the TV, and the kid is just like rocking out like that, and the mom comes up and goes, "Don't watch that. That's Satan." I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm not a big Bible reader, but it doesn't say in your book, do not pass judgment lest ye be judged." And she had no response whatsoever. She goes,
I know, exactly. They're always like, oh, that music you listen to, that's the devil. Like, love thy neighbor, man. Respect everybody.
Well, if it's the devil, then dang, he makes great music.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, did you know if you play black metal forwards, there are satanic messages?
Well, even better if you play black metal forwards, it gives you it gives you like a Bible verses or something.
It gives you like Christian rock. Yeah, I just find it funny because it's like okay, if somebody is like really religious, I'm never gonna tell them, can't believe you read the Bible. But if they ask me what I'm listening to, they'll be like, I can't believe you listen to that, and I'm like,
I don't mind what people want to do, what they want to do, or think they want to think. Just don't try to preach it on me. If you,
yeah,
that's exactly what we say.
I've always been that way. Like where I'm like, hey, if you're whatever religion you are, love you. Good for you.
What's the saying? Religion is like a penis. Religion is like a penis. It's fine to have one. It's fine to be proud of it. But when you start waving it in my face, that's when we have a problem.
That's I never heard that scenario before. I never heard that before, but in that way, it's true.
It works. It works. No, but in 3rd grade, somebody asked me, they were like, oh, do you believe in God? Like, just out of nowhere. It was like, no,
wow.
I was like, no, I'm an atheist. And they were like, oh, so you're going to hell. I was like, that's what.
I'll tell you something funny. Like there were these four or five kids, and like I said, I got into punk rock in 1987 when it was like the lowest of the low in punk rock, and I got made fun of. I mean, I got made fun of like all the time, and then the summer before my senior year, Green Day, Offspring, all blow up. That's summer of '94 right there. Becomes huge. I go back to school. Same 4 or 5 guys that always made fun of me. Hey, Chris, you want to start a punk band? I'm like, screw you.
Right. Like, yeah, you're going to switch up now that they're popular.
It's like, oh, now it's like, darn it. Now people are like all into it. It's like, you guys made fun of me for that stuff. It's like
Dominic and I always talk about the people that are wearing like Sublime and like the Ramones on their shirts and everything. And it's like, you literally made fun of me for what I was listening to like last week.
Well, I used to do this, but I don't do. I mean, I'm older now, so I don't do it as much. But if I saw a person like they would come into a bar or something like that, they would like be wearing an Iron Maiden shirt and a Motley Crue shirt like that. And I'm fans of those bands, and I'm like,
right.
They'd be like wearing a Number of the Beast album cover. I'm like, hey, what's your favorite song off that record?
Yes, that's what Dominic does. That's Dominic.
He goes, I don't know. I'm like, take that shirt off. You're just embarrassing me.
Yes. The amount of people that wear Nirvana shirts now, and my teacher one of my favorite teachers went up to a girl one time and he was like, tell me a song that's not Smells Like Teen Spirit. And she was like,
what's a Teen Spirit?
Oh God.
Yeah.
He was like better luck next time or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like, nah, not today.
I just like I always like drives my curiosity. I was like, are you sure you're into this band? Because I mean, like, I'm an Iron Maiden fan. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been to 33 Iron Maiden concerts, and I'm a huge fan.
Like I'm walking through the halls, and it's like Misfits T-shirt. Yes.
Yeah, and you get all excited, and you're like, oh, what song? And they're like,
Last K-Ras.
Last.
Like
this, is that your? Do you have an "I Don't Want to Grow Up" shirt on, Dominic?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like I had a friend of mine wearing that shirt, and like one person goes, "Is that a Toys R Us shirt?" Because I don't want to grow up on Toys R Us kid. I'm like,
oh, I have a Descendants like sweatshirt, and it says just Descendants across the front, and then on the back it has a picture of Milo. The amount of people that like have said, "Why do you have a dick on the back of your sweatshirt?"
Well, I have my Pennywise hoodie I wear all the time, and it's just like the regular thing in the back. And like I've had so many people ask me if that's white power. I'm like, no,
quite the
not
opposite.
Even close.
Yeah, quite the opposite. Actually,
they see the P and they see the W. It's like I'm like, okay, I understand that, but no,
no.
Like wearing a Pennywise t-shirt, and somebody's like, "Oh, you're into those movies?"
Yeah, I love it.
Good movies, but no, Mr. Mark.
Was there a documentary about Pennywise?
And I mean, Pennywise is like still one of my favorite bands. They went from being idols of mine to being friends of mine. It's like me and Byron are buddies now, and I stalked him when I was 18. And Byron still brings it up when he's had a few drinks. Well, I'll tell you a quick story. So I was 18, and my singer and I were bored at my house, and this is back when we had landlines. Not cell phones or anything like that. This is 96. And I'm like, hey, I wonder if any guys in Pennywise are listed in 411. I'm like, well, I'm going to call Byron because I'm a drummer. And so 411. Yeah, Hermosa Beach, California, Byron McMacken. Here it is. His number was listed. I'm like, holy God. And I called, and he goes, hello. I'm like, is this Byron? He goes, yeah. I'm like, from Pennywise? He goes, yeah. I love you. And he ended up talking to me for like 45 minutes and just being really cool. And he called me back the next week because he had, the callback, automatic callback.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, do you and your band want to come down and watch us rehearse today? Okay.
Yeah.
So we went there.
Am I going to say no?
we went there and watched them practice. They were getting ready to play the Warped Tour that year in 96. And so we're like just watching. I'm like, oh my God, this is Pennywise watch. Like, and they played songs from the album that would come out the year after, Full Circle. And then Byron goes, hey, come up here and play one of your songs. Like, okay. So we played one of our songs, and Byron goes, hey, you said you know every Pennywise song. Play a Pennywise song. So we did City is Burning, and Jim came up and sang with us. And it's like,
that's just crazy. That's the time you go home and you're like, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a that didn't happen moment. Less Than Jake and the Descendants are tied for my favorite band, and Less Than Jake played a benefit show in Annapolis, and I was talking to this like volunteer who was like, so who are you here for? Because Good Charlotte was playing after Less Than Jake. I was like, Less Than Jake, and she was like, oh cool. I was like, yeah, Roger's my favorite bassist. And then she was like, cool, I gotta go. And she went backstage, and I just talked to the band. I was like, there's this kid Dominic out there. And then like after, I think it was Johnny Quest, they were like, there's this kid Dominic that plays the bass. And then they brought me up, and then I played Roger's bass, and that like it didn't hit me until like the car ride home. It was like,
well, before I tell you a funny Less Than Jake thing, I'll tell you the funny thing. So last year at Punk Rock Bowling, Byron and I are hanging out in the casino, and he's had a few drinks. He goes, yeah, dude, this guy was 18 years old and he stalked me. I'm like, dude, I was 23 years ago. Can you let it go, please? Just
please, not what I want everybody to hear about me.
It's like, I understand, it's a funny story, but come on.
Right.
But on a Less Than Jake note, me and Chris became really good friends on that tour. We toured with them again last year in October with Blowing for Soup. And Chris and I are the biggest Kiss fans. We talk about the stupidest thing. Everybody around us going, dorks. Yeah. And I said, you guys have to play, because my favorite Less Than Jake song of all time is Good Enough. I love that song. And they're like, okay, it's not one of our popular songs, but we'll think about it. So we played our last show in Cleveland last year. Because, yeah, so this guy really wants to hear the song. We don't know how you guys are going to like it or whatever, but this is for Chris Dye from Authority Zero. And they started playing Good Enough, and the crowd went berserk. I'm like, told you. And then the funny part was Peter, or JR, where the sax player, we're both huge baseball fans. He's a Yankee fan. I'm a Dodger fan. And so when the Dodgers lost last year, we were like rooting against each other like crazy. He's like, oh, Yankees, yeah, Dodgers, yeah. And when the Dodgers got their butts kicked, I saw him the next day. He goes, come here. And he just gave me this big hug. I'm like, okay, thanks, dude.
JR was our first interview.
He's like our first musician interview. Yeah.
He's a total sweetheart. That whole band's a bunch of sweethearts. I love those guys to death.
So, you joined Authority Zero in 2016. What is it like joining an already well-established band, quote unquote?
Well, with them, it wasn't that hard because like I used to be in a band called Voodoo Glow Skulls, and we toured together with them, and I became friends with especially Jason, and they'd always asked me to fill in because like their drummer that they had, who is one of my good friends, Sean from Good Riddance, he had commitments with Good Riddance and all that stuff, so he couldn't do some tours, and I'm like, I have this thing with Pulley, I can't do it. And then it just finally aligned, and we just it was I didn't feel like it was like, okay, getting to know you period. We just like went into it and went on for less than Jake and Big Fish, and they're, you know, being a band with Authority, especially Jason is the most positive guy I've ever met in my life, and it's almost sickening because you know, it's like, you know, it's sometimes like you have a fight with your girlfriend or wife or like that, and you know, you're not in the greatest mood. And he's like, hey, bro, what's up? I'm like, all right.
Sometimes you just need to be sad.
Yeah, wake up first thing in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, dude, let me have my coffee, please. You know, I need my coffee. But, I mean, it's been a blast. I mean, it's, like I said, we're about to go in the studio and record a new record. And, you know, honestly, there's been no shortage of inspiration for this year. I mean, if you've seen all the albums that have come out this year, I mean, Bad Cop, Get Dead, all these other bands have, like, Suicide Machines have released amazing records, the Bomb Pops. It's just...
I will say, like, with quarantine, like, we talked about this before, to the people that held off releasing records because of quarantine, that's not right. But the records that have come out, amazing. Honestly, like, it's been great.
It's kept my sanity. I mean, and also, I mean, it's... Yeah, I guess maybe because it's 2020 and it's a big, you know, it's you know, anything like a 0 or a 5, whatever. It's like the 25th anniversary of this, 25th anniversary of that. A lot of stuff came out this year, like reproduces and all that stuff. Like I just got my mail of like 25th anniversary of Rancid, Not the Wolves, and 25th anniversary of Pennywise About Time. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
So that's kept my sanity.
Yeah, I've just people pushing back records because like you got to tour for it. If you don't tour for it, you don't make as much money because you don't promote it. But
that shows you don't care about releasing the music. You just care about the money that you make from the record and the tour. So
yeah, it's like I want to put if I'm gonna put out a record, I want to put it out. I'm not gonna like sit on it. I've done that before, like where I've been in a band where we recorded a record that didn't come out for another 8 months, and by the time the record came out, I hated the whole record because I had heard it too much.
Exactly, because it's not as new and refreshing. Like it should be like the instinct of the time you want to put it out, go, because that's gonna have the best impact.
The mistake I think we made on our last record was that we put it out. We toured too early after we put it out because people really had not digested the record yet.
Yeah.
And so I like to think, you know, by the time that we can go back to touring and the sound comes out, we want to have it up by April next year. It'll be digesting and people will know the words and all that stuff. And I want that, you know, so.
Yeah.
The weird thing is maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, but I haven't seen like too many political punk rock records within the past 4 years.
There's definitely been a lot of content for that.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like a war on terrorism too, but like song or two here and there. Like.
Well, I think people. I mean, it might have been like interpreted a certain way. Like I know for a fact, like I already know the lyrics for the new Authority album, and there's references, but it's not like saying "screw you, Trump," "screw you, Biden," or like anything like that. It's just like it's references to it.
Because when it's so direct, it's also like. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I wanted you to say it in a better way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like there's bands that do it right, and they can do it, like Anti-Flag. They have that way of presenting it and making it sing for better. There's bands that they're not that kind of band, don't try to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And some people just want to be direct, and that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, anti-flag is it's their own little beast. So let them do it. Let them handle it. They're good at it.
And I mean, Milo from the Descendants just put out a new record, and that's super political, and that's pretty much just like saying fuck Trump. So there's that record.
There's certainly like basically, if you though, that's good. He did that on his own because Descendants are not that kind of band. You know, it's not that. Descendants is about girls, coffee, and food.
Yeah, I feel like that's when it's okay to put out that, like when you're in like your like personal career, you know, like under your own name. I think that's fine because it's not a group decision at that point. You know what I mean? Exactly. So it shouldn't be under a group name.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
like, unless it's unanimous, then okay, go ahead.
I mean, like anti-flag, you're gonna expect a political record from a band called Anti-Flag.
If they don't, I'll be shocked.
If you don't. Exactly.
Them and propaganda, I expect it.
Yeah.
So, but Guttermouth, no.
I wouldn't expect a fuck Trump song from Less Than Jake or Real Big Fish or anything like that.
Definitely not from Less Than Jake.
Yeah. maybe references thrown in there, but
maybe throwing a little dig in there, but you know, it's like do it right, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I will be hitting you guys. I will be definitely texting Chris, and I'll Dominic, can I just give him your email address?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. It was an honor to be asked to do this. So thank you very much.
Oh well, thank you
so much.
We'll send you over the link when we have it edited and everything. It's going to go up.
Awesome. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe out there. Okay.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Chris, for your time. Chris's Instagram is Dalleyman. Our Instagram is Bad Music Taste Podcast. Our Twitter is BMT Podcast _. And our Facebook is Bad Music Taste Podcast. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.